welcome to the Joy Agenda podcast, the podcast all about joy. I'm Hannah Campbell.
I am Jay Lafferty, and today in the fabulous Monkey Barrel Studios here in Edinburgh, we have improviser, rapper, star extraordinaire, Chris Turner.
Hello, thank you. Hello. Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It is a very sweaty July afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I walked down Pleasance. It was a lovely breeze. I'm not feeling sweaty at all. So
It's just us sweaty bitches that are feeling it.
I didn't want to say it. I don't want to come straight in and be like,
well,
you perspiring hags.
Perspiring hag. Listen, that's my next friend show.
That is what it's going to be.
Perspiring hag.
But like you said, it's
5 o'clock.
It's giving us that nice Gen Z glowy glow that they all want. The dewiness, you know.
I think
that's what we're going for.
This is Scottish heat. You're used to American heat.
I am, yes.
So that's why you've got like a flannel shirt on, you madman.
See, I don't. People, when I have 4 of these shirts, they're the thinnest, most breathable fabric ever. They're not plaid shirts. They're not lumberjack shirts. There's no insulation on this. This is a light shirt. The breeze comes through. It's like a wide weave. The loom has been set to air
You were
conditioning.
so ready with that justification. I feel like maybe someone's come
happens
at
all
you
the time.
before about that.
Everyone's like, buddy, it's July. It's like, yeah, and this is suitable for that clothing. People need to shut up. Why the fact that the internet exists and commenting is a feature, you shouldn't be allowed to say things like, I have a 3-year-old in the playground the other day. She goes, Daddy, that girl has breasts. And I was like, that is correct. That's great. You're understanding that. We shouldn't comment on other people's bodies. Whisper it in my ear. And soon you'll learn to keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah. I love that. I too have a child, slightly older, 5, but they've got to the point where they will recognise something, but they know they probably shouldn't say it out loud.
Okay.
But now what they'll do is, Mama! Mama, Mama!
Have you seen the tits on that?
Yes,
It's at 3 o'clock.
It really is. I mean, it's magic. I love having a 3-year-old. It's probably to preempt stuff, the only thing that brings me joy in a bleak existence. Yesterday, we were walking back to the apartment and the seagulls are circling overhead and they're like going, caw, caw. And she's 3. She goes, I know seagulls. It's hard to be alive.
I love that your 3-year-old is already understanding existentialism. And
my wife will complain. She'll be like, there's so much work to do, so much work. And my little girl these are all real quotes. She goes, don't worry, Mummy. One day you'll be dead.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. She understands.
I love children. I want to know when we lose that reality thing, because they see truth and they just tell truth. And that's the thing. And then truth gets kind of shamed out of you.
Yeah, or they get the society thing of like, don't mention it, or maybe when they get to primary school,
But
and they get told.
There must be a mechanism that does it, because if you've ever been to the Netherlands, the Dutch do not lose that. The Dutch will just say, they'll be like, that woman has breasts. Those seagulls, they will die. Because every time I do a show in Holland, which is more than you would think given how much I hate them, on the way out, I'll be selling merch. So people are lining up. So they are, I assume, fans. And they want photos. And just like this happens so many times, people go, hey, I thought it was a great show, but I have one question, if I may ask you. Why was it not more funny?
No.
Because do you not think if you were funnier, you would sell more tickets? Like, this would be sold out. You keep coming back to this same venue every year. Are you not on an upward trajectory? Maybe if you tried to be funnier in your show, more people would come. I'm a fan.
That is brutal. You're right, and they just still say stuff like that. Like
they do. So they have the bluntness of toddlers.
I do. I love that. You're completely right. I'm not doing the accent, but I had to. People come up to me after a gig. My friend's show is about the last train home, and they had seen like a half-hour preview of it, and then they'd come to the show, like just the show that I was hosting the next night, and they were like, we came to see it. You can do that. I said, we came to see your show, and we really loved it because trains in Holland, they are also terrible. And I was like,
That's what you took away from my finely crafted comedy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, we've got the terrible train system in common. That's your feedback. Oh, we loved it. Our train system shit as well.
I mean, every time I do a tour of Germany, they're like, you are our favorite comedian. Your shows start and end precisely on time.
It's a big thing for them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you're doing the Edinburgh Fringe?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell
15th Fringe.
15th?
Yeah.
15th, wow.
In a row? Oh, well, no, obviously because we had our COVID years.
I missed COVID, the 2 COVID ones and the year before because of visa issues. But since 2007, unbroken string of attending and performing in some capacity. First year was school plays. Second year was playing in bands. Then it started becoming comedy. So yeah,
that's amazing.
So you excited? You got exciting things planned for your 15th
It's always
year?
exciting. I mean, yeah, there's nothing special to do it. I'm not John Luke Roberts. I'm not doing anything mad where it's like, here's all my shows that I've ever done on every different day. It's
no.
It's like that's too much. Like
That's also a way to
Elf
get
Lion
cancelled.
doing like three Elf Lion shows of the last 3 years,
Right.
and he's just like, that's so much work. I mean, that's. I mean, it's sensible because I actually think 15 years ago, people would come up every year. They'd be like, we saw you last year, the year before, the year before. Now, in the last few years, and it was happening before COVID, people are like, oh, we come up every 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
So we missed you the last couple of years, and you're like, oh, that's a shame because you missed good shows.
Yeah.
So actually, maybe doing that thing is smart if you have that audience. I mean, it's an easier Fringe for me. We've always done an improv show, me and my best mates from uni, and we used to always do full runs. Now we just do half runs because we've all got kids and the others can't get time off. The glamour of showbiz. And then my solo show, doing again, but I used to always do 9:45. 9:45, all my solo shows were 9:45. And then last year I did 5:15 for the first time, expecting it to be a disaster. And it was fantastic. It was so good. The audience are still there. The 9:45 theory was no drunks because they've gone to a 7 p.m., 8 p.m. show.
Okay.
9:45, they're not seeing 2 shows. They're going to the pub. So you would actually get a really focused audience.
Yeah.
And also the room would have cooled down a bit. 5:15 is the same. No one's drunk. Everyone's happy. They're not worn out from seeing 2 shows before. And I can put my daughter to bed afterwards. And then I used to do a kids comedy show every year. Did that for 10 years. And this is the first year I'm not because, again, and this is the opposite of joy. No one can afford to bring families up anymore. Like when accommodation's so expensive, I used to run a free comedy show for kids, 150 people, and we would sell it out on weekends. We'd be mostly full on the week. And it'd be me, 2 other great comedians, and we'd just pack it throughout the whole run. And now schools go back halfway through. There's no tourist kids coming up.
No.
Wow.
So
I know. I've done kids shows. I haven't. When was the last time I did one? The last kids show I did was 2021. And the reason I did it was because I'd felt as a parent there wasn't a lot for kids at that time. My son was 3, of that age group, and it was exactly the same, but I only did it until the schools went back because I was like,
we tried that last year and that it was still a struggle. The theory with that show, and it worked so well, was we would do a show that was family friendly, but it wasn't at kids, it was at the parents. It was a stand-up show with no swearing and nothing inappropriate, but we weren't doing jokes about farts and poos. We were doing normal comedy sets. Like the lineups, like Adam Hess used to do it all the time. Liam Williams did the first couple of years. It was like comedy for adults.
Yeah.
But we'd tell the kids, look, this is a real treat for you guys. You're seeing stand-up comedy for grown-ups. If you don't understand anything, just look at your mum and dad. If they're laughing, have a laugh along. This is really cool. You're going to see stuff that none of your schoolmates would see. And you're 6 and you're going to hear some proper stand-up, which wouldn't swear. And they loved it. They thought it was so cool.
And that's what you want as a parent, to actually enjoy it and not just have to
because they were the ones buying the tickets.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm doing the I don't know if you're doing any of them this year, the Babes.
Oh, Bring Your Bear In.
Bring Your Bear In.
Yeah.
So I did a couple of previews of it during the week 2 weeks ago, and so it's for under 12 months. So it's like Babes in Arms. Or under 18 months or whatever.
Yeah.
As long as they can't comprehend
Yeah.
as long as they can't comprehend the dick jokes, it's fine. And you can just, it's like whatever stand up. So there's swearing and stuff. But I find that like I can't swear when there's like a tiny 3-month-old looking at me with its big, beautiful blue eyes. I'm just like, oh, we're just going to go for some mummy stuff.
Yeah. I did one of those in Australia pre-2020. And I remember... when you're performing, you want to make eye contact with everyone in the audience. You want everyone to feel like they're part of it. So I was making eye contact with the babies. I was like, and then a third of the babies throughout the show would be breastfeeding, and so you're like kind of. I'm making eye contact. I'm not staring at your breast, madam.
I promise.
My daughter would, but I'm not. Hopefully you've left in the bit about my daughter commenting on breasts. Otherwise that seems like a out of nowhere thing. Yeah, those were great shows because they would just be like at 3 p.m. and people would just be wine drunk. And having a great time.
It's nice. I remember I had a baby in my show last year. It was with his parents and just come by itself. And it was only about 3 months, but my room last year was tiny. It was like a 29-seater and it was just a tiny room. And the mum came and she's like, I've got my baby. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. So like the baby's like right there. And it was actually pretty good. It only made like a couple of noises, but we got him first in terms with the baby. So it was fine. I was like, Elsa, that's not about you actually. But it's just nice that they can come in and like, I was like, if you need to leave, like it's fine, whatever. And it's because there's not that much probably now for them to go and enjoy it, and it's like these parents need a little bit of just sit and enjoy themselves as well.
They need to feel like adults for absolute sure.
Yeah,
I've had babies in my shows as well and it's been mostly fine. Once had a baby in a play I was in and the baby screamed the whole way through it and the parents did not take the baby out.
It's like you got to take it out.
And other people were losing their minds. And obviously when you're in the show there's absolutely nothing you can do. It's not like stand up where you can address it. And so we're just like just getting progressively louder. You know, we sound the scene was not supposed to be angry, but my God, it was played angry. Come in!
Trying to out-scream this baby that's just not enjoying it.
Oh, that was horrendous. I think everybody ended up getting their money back. But it had nothing to do with me. It wasn't my production, so.
Oh my God.
I was just in it. But yeah, so do you want to ask the question?
We'll ask you the question. Chris, tell us, what brings you joy? Good start. We're off to a flying start.
That happens more than you would think.
Honestly, most people actually,
Well, I think the problem you have is if you have comedians on, are they going to have anything that they find joy in? Like, I hope you have guests who aren't just comics because I think like we are dispensers of joy. So, and then you see how little joy there is. I don't know. I don't want to be pedantic, but like I take issue with the idea of joy.
Okay,
doesn't that right? See? In my head, I always think of joy as a religious thing. Like,
interesting.
Like joy has to be like ecstasy. Like it has to be like saints receiving like this kind of weird paradox of while being martyred, they feel the holy joy.
Oh,
so to use the joy is the most ecstasy that you can feel.
Well, I think that's what the word joy is. Like, I mean, joy agenda. I was trying to figure out, is it a pun on gay agenda? What's it a pun on?
No, it's not. No. It is, it's not really, I'm trying to think.
Because I was like, looking at the logo, I'm like, well, it kind of, it looks like it says gay and there's like trans colours or bisexual colours.
It's a little bit now we look at it.
So I thought that was the pun.
No, there's no pun. We did rebrand about a year. How long ago now was that? Was that a year ago?
About just maybe 9-10 months ago.
10 months ago, because it used to be purple background.
Yeah.
And then we changed it to the blue background. We didn't really think, to be honest, we don't put a lot of real thought into the.
No, we just are like, this looks fine.
That looks great. Joy Agenda, it was actually supposed to, I think initially it was the idea of a coffee cup being put down or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
Henry Cruikshank designed the logo and I'm very sorry, Henry, that I put so little.
Oh, I see. I should definitely know this. I see the coffee cup thing now, yes.
Yeah. Because it was like a natter.
It's not a pun.
No,
it's not a pun. No, it's just the agenda. So to hark all the way back, and long-time listeners will remember when I started the Joy Agenda with another comedian, Amelia Baylor, and the reason it came out was that Fringe, we'd both done really joyful shows. Both of our shows were about joy. And we got a real buzz from it. It was one of the, still to this day, the Fringe that I enjoyed the most, because people were just coming out of the show just really elated and really happy and high. And then the Fringe finished and it felt like a bit, I'm not talking to people and about their joy anymore. And so we decided that we would do this Joy Agenda and that we'd ask comedians, actors, artists, photographers, doctors about their joy. And so we did that for about a year, and then Amelia had other things going on and Hannah came on board. And again, Hannah's quite a joyful person. And I think a lot of it was around the fact that it's currently, and when we started the pod, since then it's got even worse, that the world is quite a not joyful place. There's not a lot of happiness. There's not a lot of things. So we thought it was quite interesting to, instead of doing a podcast about the fragility of life.
Or negativity, because I think the easiest is always to be funny in the negative. So we were like, well, let's celebrate the small things, celebrate the joyful things, see what makes people tick, and then it can lead to like really interesting conversations as you get to know your guests as well.
About how people, because we've never had that before, the religious connotation. I think it's probably because most comics not religious.
I'm not religious, but to me that's what
interesting.
So I mean, you use the word enjoyment. There are things I enjoy.
Yeah.
I find enjoyment in things, but that's so different to joy. Joy is like it's rapturous. It's like 10 out of 10, and I don't know if it's possible to feel that. But that might also be me. I always, when people describe, like David Nihill is currently on some adventure in like Macedonia or somewhere. He's just wandering around places, like the majesty of landscape. And I don't get why people do that. It's not a criticism of David's choices. David's wonderful. When people are like, what a beautiful view. Oh, I've seen a picture of it. Great. Like that to me, I've seen the picture. And also, yeah, what?
So you think there's no difference between seeing it in real life and the picture?
No, obviously there is. That would be a mental thing to say. To me, it's very little difference to it.
Right. So when you say I've been on holiday, what you've been on is Google Earth and just fucking enjoyed yourself.
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with dragging the little man somewhere in the ocean. They put it on the nearest land and being like, this is pretty cool. My wife does that as well. We're both weird. I don't know if it's definitely a me problem. Isn't there like anhedonia is like you can't feel pleasure. Now that's not, I don't feel that like it's pleasurable to have a non-branded cola beverage. It's pleasurable to listen to some music and watch a film. It's lovely to feel the chemical release of a hug from your child or your parents or someone. But it's hard for me to break it apart from the fact that yes, there's love, and that's not joy, is it?
Right.
I think it's a strange thing. So I understand what you're saying.
And I need to come on and interrogate the whole.
No, I think
come on,
it's
our
great.
podcast apart.
I think it's great.
I'm interested in it. Like,
no, it's fascinating that you've had this take on it.
I suppose there's moments in your life where people go, like at the moment in the current Fringe show that I am doing, there's a bit where I talk about people around us getting divorced, right? So my husband and I have been married for quite a long time, and we've got to the point where there's a lot of people who are friends and acquaintances and they're getting divorced, and that's quite scary for a married couple because your friends say things like, oh, we just weren't happy anymore, and we're looking at each other going, what was that? Is
no
that
one's
a choice?
happy. Yeah.
I didn't realise that was the book. Like, and it's, I know, my husband wrote a play years ago about the ridiculousness of trying to be happy, of when you try to be happy, you're at your least happiest. Like happiness is, you're in it, and it's when it goes that you realise that you were happy.
Yeah.
And I suppose joy can be...
My wife had a terrible hives from some cream she put on the other day, and she's like, I want you to appreciate how not itchy your skin feels right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're not in it, you're like, oh.
It's when something takes you out of either the mundane or happiness or sadness that you realise where you were in that place. Like, I think as well, it's like a bit like that with depression, where people go, oh, I didn't realise I was depressed until I wasn't depressed. And I think happiness can be quite similar. I have had real moments of joy in my life, but they've not been in the moments where you would expect. So like when people go, oh, when you give birth, oh, it's such a joyful experience.
I mean,
no,
if they give you loads of heroin and speed, again, not just keep being wife things, but
even with the drugs, it is not a joyful experience.
She says that you get the drugs, that severe painkillers. She goes, you get heroin, and then you get speed, amphetamines as well, and opiates. And she's like, it's amazing. It's this incredible cocktail. And then you come down, and not only are you having to come down off these great drugs, you have a baby. Someone's just like, look after me now. You're like, I'm hungover.
But yeah, I think the moments that came after birth, like within the the weeks preceding having had my child, there was like a real calmness, and a real kind of living in the moment of just being, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
So the
This is
calmness and the kind of like the zen of it is.
I think probably the zen of it a little bit, and also as well, my child. And again, you know, you were saying when your little girl says things and it brings you, you know, the joy that she can bring you. Sometimes my son will say things that just I can actually feel my heart going, ooh!
Yeah.
And you get that surge of adrenaline, and that
I
surge.
don't know. It's maybe I'm being too kind of granular on emotion. That would be pride to me.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that I
Okay.
would take any pride in.
Okay. Yeah. And glee, the kind of inappropriateness of something they do. Calmness and peacefulness and zenness is, and I'm not Eastern religiousness, whatever the word would be, but like when I meditate, that feels, it's not joyous because there should be no emotion. There should just be like clarity and peace.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the question I ask people who think about sceneries and landscapes. I'm like, what is it that it evokes in you? What does it do? In the same way, I'm colorblind. So like, what is it to know what the difference between green and red is? Like, what is that? We can't describe that. So Hannah, you were described as a joyful person. When you're performing, which I guess is the easiest thing for us to connect on as all performers, when the audience applaud at the end, if you've had a great set and they're applauding and they're like, and you see them like loving it, what do you feel?
Well, joy, because I'm also on a lot of heroin at the time. Fucking eyeballs on speed, and I'm just getting ready to have a baby. So I suppose it's that. Yeah, you feel that. See, now I'm thinking about all these. What are the different words? I suppose I would that you do feel that joy. There's also, I suppose, a sense of relief you feel that you've. So like, is that joy, self relief? Maybe pride.
That varies to gig to gig, right? A weekend in Glasgow versus like a corporate gig on a Tuesday afternoon or something, right? There's different levels of relief.
Yeah. And I find as well, the longer I've been doing stand-up, that lasts for such a short, that high goes away so quickly as well. Like now you're just like, and then you're just back to normal. Whereas remember the first couple of years, like I would ride that high for days, being like, I did a really great 5 minutes in front of 20 people. But now it's kind of, so maybe it's not as impactful because we do it all the time. But yeah, so what do you feel when like you have a good gig? Are you just,
I don't think it's joy.
You know, not joy, but do you feel happiness or you just
Yeah. I don't get the relief as much. If it's like a tour show, if they've come to see me, I think this is it's an unlikable emotion to feel, but I do think people feel it. I think it's that's right. Yeah, I am pretty good at this. Yeah, I've done it a while.
Yeah.
Like when you like say you're hosting a rough weekend and you like you properly nail it and like the show goes great and you're like, that was me. That could have gone very badly.
Yeah.
Like you feel like,
but then
damn right.
That's always undercut by somebody coming up to you and going, you should really give the comedy a go because that was quite good what you did.
But that is,
so
I know
funny
it's
when
the
that
most
happens.
stereotypical thing that MCs get given. It's the best praise you can get.
Yeah.
Because there's, the best acting doesn't look like acting.
Yeah.
The best hosting just looks like you're just an effortless, frictionless person who's just
just
made
a
it
very
flow.
funny man.
And so I think for me it is more of a
when you sit in that confidence.
That's about right. Yeah, like I am good. I know what I'm doing, and then I'm like, really, seriously, like there's one after gigs now. I'll look at my watch and it like Apple Watches they trigger alerts if there's like a certain sound level.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't buzz and go 90 decibels, I'm like, oh, that was a bad gig. I did badly. I need it to go. It goes 90, and then there's certain clubs where I'm like, if it doesn't hit 95. I've not done well enough.
It's a metric for yourself.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, when I started out, I used to like properly rank and break down all my shows by numbers and like give them like marks out of 10. Never got lower than a 5, even on the show that I was silenced off stage. They just stopped laughing at my jokes, and instead, the final punchline got a tumbleweed.
Oh,
and I was
that's
like,
hard.
5 out of 10. That crowd were idiots.
Sometimes you are idiots as an audience.
Sometimes it's not us.
But given that was my third gig, it probably was me. So I don't like. I love. Like when you get the hairs stand up on your arm and all that kind of shit. But that's that joy, isn't that not just, that's just like a response to stimuli? That's just someone changing a chord the right way and
you can manipulate that. Like people can definitely manipulate, and as artists we know that, and particularly like in the midst of doing fringe shows, you're like, okay, I'm going to hit this at 45 and then there's going to be a swell of music comes in there, I'm going to do this, and like, so you can manipulate emotions for sure. But I think maybe joy is just that pure, for me, maybe that just pure childish giddiness, silliness that you forget about the travesties of everything, you know, whether it's the small things that we do day to day or the larger world issues, where you can escape and just for seconds or minutes or hours just be in the moment.
So there's something, there's a purity to it.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's so strong that it's kind of the only emotion you can feel at the moment. It's not tinged with anything else. You're just like that, like immediate joyfulness, and it doesn't
need to be something that lasts.
No.
For, you know, joy can be, I mean, obviously, like there's physical manifestations of the sex, people.
Yeah. Well, that's, an orgasm is joyous 5% of the time. I think most of the time there's too much shame involved, or like kind of, I hope that condom's intact. I think, I wonder if it, like, obviously I don't know the legality of this substance in Scotland or in this time period. Are you familiar with anyone who has done laughing gas or nitrous oxide?
Yeah. I've done laughing gas at festivals.
Okay, is this perfectly legal?
I don't know if it is at the moment, but there used to be the Wickerman Festival about 15 years ago. They used to have a laughing gas tent.
Really?
Yeah.
I would trust a festival called the Wickerman Festival.
Yeah.
They definitely
no longer
they're lawyered
exists.
up. Because they're the ones that get in trouble, so you can't sue a no longer extant corporation. I'm not a hard drug user, and I don't think that marijuana is a joy producer. I think laughing gas is. I think in the past, the closest I felt to like transcendence was laughing gas.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And like holding someone's hand that I liked and listening to some music. And I think I briefly have like a 10-second like, oh, that was ascendance there. Ooh. That might be joyous. That might be one. But then that's also, you're a teenager. And like, I don't know if it was Rimbaud or like one of the other fancy French poets, but you know, it might not be Rimbaud. It might be the other one. He stopped writing poetry when he was 17 because he was like, you don't feel emotions once you're not a teenager anymore. The emotions that you need to write poetry, they just dissipate. You can't feel them as strongly because the chemicals aren't there. And I wonder if there is something to do with that kind of adolescence and when everything is so strong.
I really like, I think that's a great, just when you're saying that there, because, and I know I keep going on about this, right? But it's how I'm feeling. Is when you're in the perimenopause is very much like puberty, because it's all the hormones changing and moving and the emotions and not being able to curb your anger the same way you couldn't as a teenager. So I think maybe I'll start writing poetry.
Maybe start do some laughing gas. You might
some laughing gas. Write some
poetry. It's so fucking hot.
It's hot.
Why is it so
hot all the time? Oh, well, seeing you've had trouble finding your joy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to break the podcast.
No, you're not.
I do
you might
apologise.
enjoy the next section even better, Chris.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we have Jay's joy killers.
Great.
So things that kill your non-existent joy. What kills your joy, Chris?
What things I don't like?
Yeah. Things that really get under your skin. They don't need to be. They don't.
Being asked for ID when I'm buying alcohol-free beer. Shout out to Waitrose for being the only place I've been that doesn't do that on the self-checkouts. Tesco's make you do it. I'm buying an Erdinger alcohol-free wheat beer. I'm not a teetotaler. I drink plenty of alcohol. But sometimes you can't do that. So, yeah, when I get to the checkout and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I need your ID. I'm like, no, you don't. It's alcohol-free. And they go, but I do. I go, but you can't just press the button and say, it's clearly over 25 or it's clearly not alcoholic. When rules aren't followed, when plans change, that's the biggest. That wrecks me.
So are you quite a planner? You like to know what's going on? Okay.
When a plan change, yeah. Because it's not joy. That just, that if there were hypothetical joy, that would ruin everything. Like, oh, we've planned this beautiful, perfect day, and then something goes wrong. It's just like, no, that wasn't how it's supposed to happen. Because everything, most of the time, it does go how it's supposed to happen because the world is predictable.
And is that, say, if you've got a day planned out, you've got an idea in your head of what it's going to be. If it doesn't meet your expectation, does that make you feel sad, or are you like just if it's like a big thing like
not
we can't
expectation?
Go to,
no, like say you've planned what you're going to eat at a restaurant, and not if they're out of it, because that's someone as some people they've also wanted that and they've ordered it before you, and so that was fine because well, of course it was good, right? Oh, we've just sold the last one of those. Oh yeah, well it was good. Oh, sorry, that was the spring menu. We're on the summer menu now. We just haven't updated it on the website.
Oh,
yeah.
Feel like we've been in summer for a month. Feel like that should have been done. Feel like someone has messed up. I was with a friend at a pub that no longer exists on Buccleuch Street a couple of years ago, the Urban Fox, perhaps. And she'd come all the way from Berlin. She's from Jersey, from the Channel Isles. And we're sat there. It was already an excellent coffee catch up because she ordered a latte with oat milk, and the guy went, a latte with oat milk, and she goes, yeah, a latte without milk. He's like, let me just get this right, a latte with oat milk. She goes, without milk. And I'm just there and I went, I see what's happening here. She's asked for a latte with oat milk. He's like, oh, with oat milk. And she goes, without milk. But then on the menu she goes, he gives her the menus. And she goes, I don't need it. I just want some haggis. And he goes, we don't have haggis. And she goes, you do though. And he's like, we don't. She goes, we're in Scotland. I want some haggis. And she is a very demanding, high achieving person. And she's like, look, I want haggis. And I'm willing to pay whatever it costs for someone to go and get haggis and make haggis.
Oh my goodness.
And so they eventually made haggis bonbons for her, which I think they just ordered from a different restaurant and then plated up.
So she thought haggis were like chips in Scotland. Just everywhere has them.
Yeah,
you can get them in every
exactly.
restaurant.
I mean, look, she's from Jersey. If you went to Jersey and were like, I would like some gold top milk, unhomogenized, unpasteurized, fatty milk, and they said we don't have that, you'd be within your rights to demand it.
Yeah. Problem was that was a vegan restaurant you were at. Though, so.
Yes. Called the Urban Fox, the famous cultured veganistas.
Yeah. Wow.
Plans changing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely disastrous. What else don't I like?
I find it quite amusing that an improviser doesn't like it when plans change.
Improv is incredibly planned, though. We're going to do a 55-minute show. We're going to get these suggestions, and we're going to... That's how improv works. I know these people. I've performed with them for 15 years. I know exactly how they're going to respond to everything. I'm going to set up. They're going to knock it down. It's just planned. I don't know how you do it. How'd you do it? It's all planned.
So do you prefer not to improvise with people you don't know then? Like, get thrown in with something?
Oh, that's the thing I hate. People love roast battles and all this other stuff. Why? I like being on stage with just me. It's the one problem with improv. There's other people on the stage. Now, luckily, those three are my friends and they're all funnier than me. So I'll happily be on their stage. I'll ride their coattails. And then at the end, we will hand out our flyers for our shows. And I'm like, it's the cheerleader effect, right? My wife was a cheerleader, but the cheerleader effect is if you are in a group of pretty people, you are rated prettier.
Yes.
I'm rated funnier by virtue of being on stage with these three funnier people. But I don't... If you're doing stand-up, you think you are... Every stand-up thinks they're the funniest person on the bill. Why are you letting someone else on stage with you? Just take the stage. And that's why I don't like performing with other people, because I'm like, what if they're not that funny?
True.
And I did improv in LA for 4 years, so most of the time, they're not that funny.
Yeah,
you've been there, you've done that.
Their agents have told them, you need to take an improv class. If you want to get acting roles, you need to have you've done some improv. And so people would come in and they would just be so unfunny. And obviously the school tells them, you don't need to be funny to do improv. I'm like, that is...
You need to have money.
That's a requirement to do it. This is improvised comedy. You have to be funny. And they're like, we can actually teach you how to be funny. No, you can't. Yeah. It takes a lifetime to be funny. And if you haven't lived a lifetime valuing wit or humor, right? Fine. If you didn't value it, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so roasts kill my joy.
I love hosting. And one of the reasons I love hosting, and I love doing sets as well, but I love hosting because one of the reasons I love hosting is I like to talk to people. I like to see what people do. And I like riffing off of it, and I enjoy that greatly.
Can I just poke and prod? Why Why do you like talking to people?
Because I'm a nosy bastard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very nosy. And I also I'm interested, probably why I did podcast as well, is like, I'm quite interested in how other people think, and I'm interested in other people's lives. But I have precious little time because I have a very busy life. So instead of spending time with my friends, I like to ask strangers what they do for a living. But I enjoy all of that. And I will, as a host, I will be mean if the occasion is required. Like, so if I need to, in order to set up the room for the next act, if somebody's been a dick, I will sit on them, I will squash them. If people need told, they will be told. But generally, I like to set up a nice, happy, joyful space for comics to come into and do the best work that they can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you satisfaction.
It gives me satisfaction. I really enjoy that. The reason I hate roast battles is, first of all, a lot of the roast battles you go to, none of the crowd know these comics.
Yeah.
They're just being mean for meanness sake. I mean, they have to phone each other beforehand to discuss the things that they can be mean about. And I just think, where is the joy in that? Like, that's for me. I'm like, where is... I understand that saying something rude or inappropriate or mean can be funny, but just 5 minutes of watching people be just nasty to each other, I'm like, this isn't...
It's a waste of time as well, because you can write some really good jokes and then you're going to be able to use them again.
Yeah,
you can't go on
that's the
stage and be
thing.
like, so there's this other comedian, and if you met them, it would be very funny if I said...
I did a roast battle once, and it's so much work for 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
I was like, I've not done one since, because I was like, the one and done sort of thing is fine, but yeah, I don't take real enjoyment out of them either, because you're just like, it's so... I'm like, I can't take it. I don't want to hear what you have to say about me.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me so much. The one I enjoy roast battles, or I have enjoyed a roast battle when it's been what it was originally, which was like a celebration of someone. So we did like when
Yeah, a roast.
Vladimir McTavish turned 60, there, which was nearly 10 years ago now. We all did a big roast battle. We did a roast
it's an
of him.
American roast.
Yeah, it was an American roast.
Yeah,
of
it's best friends
Exactly.
and some other figures being
funny
Yeah.
about that person, and we did that for Vlad, and it was great.
It's essentially best man speeches. Everyone's giving a best man speech.
Very
Yeah,
true.
exactly. But this, like, I don't know. Probably least I say about roast battles now. I very much like Ryan Cullen.
Yeah.
Ryan's a nice boy, but yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
Again, just a question: when you're nosy and you're interested in talking to people, and you like that, do you read biographies as well?
I have done in the past. I have read biographies. I listen to a lot of true crime because I am a woman of a certain age.
She loves a bit of true crime.
I love a bit of true crime, and I read a lot of memoirs.
Okay, yeah.
So
Memoir's super nosy, right? A memoir is better than an autobiography.
Yeah.
I mean, a biography is always should be more critical than an autobiography because we can't analyze ourselves. And then a memoir should be, when you wrote the things that went to the memoir, you shouldn't have been intending to share them. That should be something that you've then gone, okay, I'm put this out now. Like, I mean, David Sedaris's diaries, memoirs, like a pretty, like, they've been put out, and it's not like David Sedaris cares what people think about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not interested in talking to people, like, other than for give me meat for the comedy grinder. I'm going to turn thing. But then I'll read a biography because I'm like, well, this person must have been interesting, because something was written about them. Whereas, sorry guys, most people are incredibly tedious, and so we're all the same, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like,
although there's been a lot of biographies written about people who were incredibly tedious as well.
Oh yeah.
well, yeah, don't read those ones. But like, there, if you like. Giorgio Vasari's The Lives of Artists was published in the 1600s and is still published today, and that's just him doing biographical chapters of famous artists. Now, so it's interesting and gossipy and tawdry, and also it's funny because he's put himself in the book being like, and of course the life of me, the greatest artist. You're like, shut up, knob. But yeah, so I have no interest in talking to people.
That's another joy killer. If you're made to talk to people, you're like, absolutely.
Oh God,
Plans changing roast battles.
Having to speak
the
to
public.
I had someone invite me to a dinner party. I won't say where it is or who it was because then they'll know. But someone invited me to a dinner party ages ago. And I was like, oh, brilliant, dinner parties. Who has dinner parties anymore? Dinner parties are like, you invite a cool bunch of people, you have a great time. And everyone, it was like no one had done any selection whatsoever. It was just a group of people. They were all fucking boring. They were all Gen Z or near it.
Oh, wow. But they've not lived enough not to be boring.
No, it was just like any question. People, well, I saw this thing on TikTok. You're like, who are you though? Tell me about you.
That's insane, isn't it? I feel so old now because I feel really patronised when I talk to young people on stage. And I know I play it up when I'm doing it on stage. But sometimes you speak to them and you think, how do you wake up? How do you function? And
you think like we were probably all like that when we were younger, and the older generation can never understand the younger generation. But I do think like brain rot is a real thing.
Oh.
When they just grew up on social media was just coming in when I was like in high school. Like Instagram and Facebook, but can you imagine having TikTok when you were like 14? You're literally
not even
how
14,
old are
8.
you, Chris?
Yeah.
35.
35, right?
Yeah,
so you're a little bit older.
But then, like, I grew up in the generation where it was like, oh, it's all. I mean, like our generation was the teen pregnancy, like the peak of teen pregnancy was like 2004, 2005, 2006, and you're welcome. I was putting the numbers in, and we were also drinking and smoking and doing drugs, and I was like, wow, these kids are going to grow up with absolutely ruined brains, and we're all fine.
Yeah.
So hopefully, a global pandemic, distance learning, and the rot of social media won't have had, they'll have had worse an impact than that, because Gen Z aren't drinking or smoking or having sex, but they've got this trio instead. We'll see how that affects it. And all the chat about AI stealing jobs, right? I used to work in recruitment, so like I'm interested in hiring, and people are saying that they're having interviews with graduates, and because they spent the last 2 years, and who wouldn't use ChatGPT? They're using it to summarize things, do all this stuff. When they get to an interview, they're like, right, do these tasks. They can't do it because they used to use ChatGPT. But actually, these are tasks you need to be able to do without ChatGPT. It's not like, oh, well, I don't need to learn mental arithmetic because I've got a calculator in my pocket. I'll just use that. Yeah, cool. You can use ChatGPT for things, but also you need to be able to do certain things with your brain, and there's not that muscle. So that's worrying, isn't it? I mean, like if we're reduced to like 5 basic emotions, maybe joy will be one of them. If that's all they can feel.
Yeah, will allow us to feel joy at certain times.
Yeah. I mean, I like the whole. If we're going to get all philosophical, like being a hedonist, that's a fun thing. Or Epicurean, to be all like, oh, let's just absorb and like get as much pleasure as possible, and that's a good life. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's the purpose of life. I think the purpose of life is to create. I think creation is actually, I think most people, even if they are not creative, are satisfied by creation. I think the people who left my primary school, and then got an apprenticeship at 16 and build stuff. People go, oh, it's not that's creation. Whether you're an architect or a bricklayer, you're creating something, and it's cool to look at a thing you've made and pass that down. And I buy like something from a charity shop that I go, oh, someone made this, or like a bad oil painting that was framed, and I go, well, it must be expensive to frame that, and this painting's shit, but we can use it as a prop for our Edinburgh show, and if it gets dropped on the floor, whatever, someone made that, and they think it's really good. That's the meaning of life. It's creation.
That was super interesting.
Yeah, I wrote a poem about that when I was about 16. The meaning of life is to explore and create, not for young minds to lie bored and sedate. And you will not find that online anywhere, because, God, what an embarrassing phrase. In the same way, you see people doing karaoke singing Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I'm like, Rage Against the Machine, when you are over 18, the most embarrassing band ever. When you're 16 years old, the most exciting thing ever. And things like, tribal things like going to watch football or mainly football and organised sport do allow us to regress into that. Like you watch people cheering a goal and chanting along to the White Stripes, going duh, 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 or people watching Oasis, to be topical, singing along. The reason people are buying £500 tickets to see Oasis isn't because they want to see those songs, because they want to remember what it felt like when they were 12 years old when the only thing that mattered was two men in bucket hats with their parkas zipped all the way up fighting.
And that's it. Christopher MacArthur Boyd's got an excellent bit in his new Fringe show about the Pavlovian response of Oasis fans, and it's a brilliant bit because it's nothing. It could be anybody sitting on the stage as long as they were singing those songs in that key. It doesn't really matter. It's the two of them.
Yeah, it's just. But I suppose that's something about people gathering those things, because that's potentially the closest a lot of people do get to that joy and ecstasy when you're with that amount of people all feeling something at the same time.
Yeah.
I think amplifies that for people.
And
as
just
well.
remembering what it was to be 16, 17, 18, 19 and carefree and not married, not kids, unless you went to school with Chris because they all had children. I think it's I'm interested to see what the Fringe is going to be like for that weekend that Oasis are
It's going to
here.
be up
Have you
there.
looked at your ticket sales versus last year?
Well, I didn't do this time last year because I was on tour, so I only did 4 nights at the Fringe, so I can't really. I think they're okay for that weekend.
Yeah, I haven't noticed how dramatic they look.
I
Similar.
Oh, mine have way dropped off.
Yeah,
Really?
I haven't.
Yeah, on that
I haven't
weekend.
particularly noticed. But I also
Then
think
again, my audience demographic is mainly Oasis fans, and so they're busy that night.
What shit to do.
I'm
I'm
not.
from Manchester. They're all.
They all come up. We're going to
Right.
finish off
Yes.
with Hannah's headlines.
I have a little section where I see a story or something that's caught my eye, and I'll bring it in. And Chris, you're going to hate this because this is something that's on TikTok. Have you seen the Coldplay cheating scandal? Producer Ewan is laughing.
Oh.
Tech CEO and HR chief were caught in an affair at a Coldplay concert. So actually, Jay, if you click next, I put the video up, but we can see them. Should play. So Chris Martin pans to them, and they immediately split apart in horror. And the internet took it upon themselves to go and find these people.
Of course they did,
and
because
so quickly identified the company, the people, the wives, the people involved. Like, it was crazy.
Do you know what the main thing of that is that if they had panned, I think with this, if they had just panned to them and they were standing like that and they had just like smiled and waved, it would have been fine.
Yep.
Like your wife might have gone, oh, first of all, it wouldn't have ended up all over the internet.
Yep.
Second of all, even if it had done, the wife would have been like, oh, that was a bit inappropriate the way you were hugging her. And they would have gone, oh, we're all a bit drunk and it was a nice song. But the fact that you went,
It's the reaction. And it was
this woman's face is joy.
I mean, there's some great faces on there right
so
now.
she's apparently an employee, so she kind of knew what was. I don't know about the guy having a breakdown in the back.
Yeah,
but,
that's it. When you're 17, you feel a lot of emotions.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's going to be an awkward Monday morning conversation for
have
these
you not
two.
seen his apology?
Yeah, and it was because I can't, because he's quoted a Coldplay song in it, and people were like, "Is he genuine about this?"
Well,
or?
it was an apology, but yet he finished by blaming Coldplay for the whole situation. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's a real apology
I
there.
don't think you can probably put that on Chris Martin, but yeah. So it's just one of those. It's amazing what will unite people on the internet. And finding out
that's it. If he wasn't a tech CEO as well, would it have been as much?
Yeah.
It's the fact that
I tell you what, brilliant branding for their company. That website will have more hits than it will have probably done in a year. Everybody knows what Astronomer is now.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to a Coldplay concert, you deserve everything that's brought upon you.
That's very true. I think that's fair.
Never have 3 songs that are good launched an absolute global stain. Look, Coldplay's first album, great songs in there. Very good songwriter for one album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you told me, "Oh, you're going to hate this because it's about Coldplay," I'd be like, "Yes."
Yes.
I'm not trying to be cool by hating Coldplay. Everyone fucking hates Coldplay. I don't want to hate Coldplay. It's like they are the old punchline of like, it's like Red Hot Chili Peppers being like, "Oh yeah, they're actually bad." Yes, we know they're bad. No one likes them. They're unlikable.
Yeah. But I mean, you say that, but then they sell out.
Oh,
they sell
stadiums.
out everywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody likes them.
Look, I'm not going to be the hack one who's like, yeah, Hitler filled arenas. Because you can shift numbers doesn't mean you are good.
Well,
yeah. And on that
absolutely.
note, please all come to our Fringe shows. We are there for the
that's
entire
why
month.
you know we're well behaved. We're not filling arenas.
We're not filling arenas.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not saying anything cancelable in order to sell out at the Fringe.
Yeah.
On that,
Yes.
thank you so much for
Chris,
coming on
thank
Joy
you so
Agenda.
much.
again, give us a little plug. Now, this will come out just as the Fringe is starting.
Great.
This will come out on Monday.
This come out on Monday.
Fantastic.
So tell us, what are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Well,
what
you
do?
come watch me. My show, Chris Turner Spontaneous, is an entirely improvised show of freestyle rap. Which obviously you're like, wait, what? What a twist. I'm really good. And it's got a bunch of crazy stuff in there. We're going to be freestyle rapping based on random selections from the complete work of Shakespeare. We'll be getting audience members up to create beats on stage. There will be one of the most difficult, technically challenging freestyle raps you've ever seen, where I rap at 150 BPM, which is 300% faster than Coldplay have ever written a song. And then that's at 5:15, 5:45. It's at one of those times. I think it's at 5:50. It's at 5:15, I think. I don't know.
Whereabouts?
Underbelly. Underbelly, George Square. And then I have my improv show, which is called And Now for Something Completely Improvised. I say and because it's 4 A's, because we started doing that when the program actually shifted tickets. And so, my God, that did well. And now we just have a dumb name. And Now for Something Completely Improvised. That's at Pleasance Queen Dome at 11:40 every day in the morning. And that's a family-friendly improv show with me and, as we've said, 3 other much funnier people. So if you're like, wow, this guy's pretty funny, God, imagine what you'll think when you see. And I will say, both of those shows, incredibly positive, uplifting, dare I say, joyful. Nothing negative, all good. You'll have a fantastic time, unless you like Coldplay, in which case I will discuss it with you. And all my other stuff is, Chris Turner Comedy, Instagram, and I put videos every week on YouTube that are good. If you want to see whether I am a good rapper, I am a good rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic. What about you?
Oh, for me, I am at the Stand Comedy Club with a show called Oofed, which is a brand new hour. It's all about the last train home. And
so if you have trains in your country, you'll fucking love it.
Oh, if you've got trains,
come along.
Come and see it. It's big with the train people.
Lots of autistic fans.
Lots of train spotters coming along. No, there's no actual trains in the show. I would just false advertising.
Take the tickets out, you
can't. That's at 5:00 every day at the Stand, except for the 11th. And I will be hosting Leighton Live at the Gilded Balloon, and I am doing the Provocateurs, which is a daily show. I'm not doing it every day. I'm hosting some of them, but those are shows which are mainly about science, and different specialists and researchers come on and talk about their research and their specialisms.
Oh, cool.
And it used to be called Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas. It's now called the Provocateurs. So if you've been to Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas before, it is still there. It is now rebranded and is called the Provocateurs. And that is 11:15 every day at the Stand Comedy Club, and various places all over the Fringe.
You're all over the place.
Is Leighton Live back at Debating Hall yet, or is it still?
No, because the TVA is still closed.
And probably will be for the foreseeable future, because Edinburgh Uni, and they don't know how to do anything.
Yeah. It's supposed to open in September, so hopefully.
But George Forth Bridge is going to be finished, right?
Yeah, at some point. Hannah, where are you?
I am doing my debut Fringe hour this year. It is called Me. I am at Gilded Balloon Patter House every day at 4:20. Please come along. And
Yay.
Great. Chris, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
So much. A huge thanks to producer Ewan.
Thanks, producer
and
Ewan.
everybody here at the Monkey Barrel. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Oh, I should also say that during August, we will be doing things. We will be doing recordings, but they may not be coming out on our usual fortnightly Mondays.
Yes.
There may be little extra bits and pieces that are just going onto the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Hannah and I backstage in the green rooms, and just depending on, everybody's busy because Chris Thorburn is also doing a show, Chris Thorburn, who edits the podcast. Yeah. So we're going to have lots of content, but it may be all over the place. So remember to subscribe on both YouTube and on wherever you get your podcasts, and that'll keep you up to date with when things are dropping.
Exactly. We're busy. We'll try and give you stuff when we can, but we can't promise it. But we'll have some good stuff.
You're getting this for free. What more do you want?
Exactly. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.